Hello and welcome back to another episode of SuperCoach Insider. My name is Ben.
And I'm Chris.
And thank you for having us. We're going to do things a little differently today, but first things first, Chris, can you hit out with our socials, please?
Yes, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SC Insider.
Yes.
On Twitch, which you're watching us right now, at twitch.tv/SC_Insider.
And Twitter, it's SC_Insider_.
And YouTube and all the major podcast platforms to search for us, SuperCoach Insider. You cannot miss us.
Yep, you can't miss us. We are in your face.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. So thank you very much for having us again. We're going to do a little bit of a quick pod. We're doing some keeper leagues next. So that's, I believe, 2 p.m. Victorian time, 1 p.m. in Queensland or wherever else you may be. You can work it out.
2 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Just go with that.
Well, whatever.
And then tonight we're going to do our single season draft live as well, which is going to be pretty cool. So that's going to be
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time.
Whatever.
But we thought we'd just jump in here. We were going to do this yesterday, but I don't have internet at my house, so it's a bit awkward at the moment.
Who's Chris going pick one? Has to be Grundy. Keeper league, Grundy, can't miss it.
Thanks to everyone that is on Twitch today. This will be a short pod.
They just want to hear your tactics.
Yeah, I'll try not to reveal my
yes, so today what we're going to do is we're going to have a look through the JLT. Instead of doing the JLT review, etc., we're going to actually probably focus a little bit differently. So we're going to go with the people that average the most in the JLT, and then kind of go whether they are a
trap or if they're true. So
trap or true.
Trap or true. So
and I can tell you that Petrappa
he features on the list.
Does not ring true. The key is in his name.
So just having a look really at the overall scores over the two JLTs and what we can actually draw out of it, and where people are going right or where they might be going wrong. So
and what percentage of teams they are currently in for the better part. Then also next week we're talking about getting together.
Hello Tatum SZN. Hi, how you going?
Hello. Channing Tatum.
Yes.
Next Wednesday we'll get together when the Carlton and Richmond teams are announced. We'll go through some of those rookies, and hopefully we'll get together Thursday between announcement and the bounce to try and help calm the anarchy.
Yes, we'll probably be doing it ourselves as well. So.
Yes, and I'm not going to lie, Chris, I may have spent some time last night going through my side. I don't even know what it looks like.
Before or after that we destroyed you in poker?
Yeah, after.
We won't bring that up, shall we?
It was a hit it and quit it, and unfortunately I hit it too hard and quit it too late.
That's true. Now, before we move on, what are our sponsors today?
We're going with Bluey today. Okay. So Bluey is.
Cheers, you're about halfway through.
Mate, I like to nectar the blues. Anyway, so it's Great Northern. Dan Murphy special for $9 a six pack. Can't go wrong.
Can't really go wrong.
And
give them a whirl.
The beer from up here, so they say. I'm assuming it tastes like a Great Northern. It was next to the Great Northerns, so I would assume that the Blues are affiliate of Great Northern.
Fair enough.
Okay, Chris, well, let's start off. Let's get rolling amongst the pigeons. Who have we got first of all, highest averaging player in the JLT?
Was that Dom Sheed? Because we can just rip that Band-Aid right off, was it?
Dom Sheed. Meanwhile, if anyone's after a little funny picture, we had somebody raging us on Twitter just like this morning. Anyway, long story short, apparently we can't comment on anything that's not Supercoach related. So, yep.
That's what happens.
But check out the Facebook page. I did put up a photo, and on Twitter as well. I had a good little crack up, and I ended up sending it to Chris saying, "Hey, check out what I replied."
It's true.
Dom Sheed.
So look, Dom Sheed. Look, is he a trap? He might be. He very much looks like a trap. He's got JLT trap written all over him, but I've seen him in a bloody ton of sides. My issue with picking Dom Sheed is that I assume that he was on no one's radar before the JLT.
No.
And so why all of a sudden is he now in someone's radar? Because
he's cheap.
Well, he has had a slight role change, of course. So he's playing a lot more minutes.
Yes, well, I mean, when you're a premiership winning player, Chris, you can get all the positions you like.
That's true. Now, before we move forward, I do want to just shout out our group code. We've been getting asked and pummeled about the group code. So here it is on screen right now, but it's 899252 if you do want to join the
And that's asked with a K.
Yeah, right? Oh, by the way, anyway, now... so I personally think that he is a trap because I don't think that he's going to have the same role in the actual season that he's currently getting now. So if you believe, though, that his role has permanently changed, I can see the value in that. However, I don't think so. I think once round one bounce comes in, he's going to go back to playing at much more forward time.
13.3% of sides.
Yeah, like massive trap. He's got trap written all over him.
Yeah, I'm going trap as well. So who is this asking who's the better draft player, Chris?
That's Jay. That's,
Jay, yes. Well,
hey Jay, how you going?
As far as keeper leagues go, we've both never done a keeper league, so that's a horrible.
This will be interesting.
Yeah, it could be very interesting. And
as far as normal though,
I have not done any research at all.
Don't say that before the draft.
Well, I'm starting to actually kind of have a look at some of the ages of people. But the normal draft leagues, I think that we are pretty much neck and neck. But I have the chocolates.
You do have the chocolates with the back-to-back.
I'm back-to-back winners.
Yep.
And it's not that I don't draft better. Like, our teams are usually fairly similar. Yeah. I generally have had a better position than you. But normally I use the waiver a bit better. I trade better.
You trade better. And you're up at 4 a.m. trying to select your waiver players. So.
No, that was when they used to be... Anyway, we're getting off track.
Anyway, let's keep going. So, look, I believe he's a trap. If you think he's good, then that's great. I can't see him doing anywhere near those numbers. At absolute best, I think he's probably going to average about 100 to 105. So he'll make you cash it. I think he's 390 something K.
394 or something.
Not at that price. He needs to be a keeper, and he's nowhere near that in my opinion.
Okay, so. Fair enough. Let's move past Jamie McMillan because let's face it, he's not relevant at all.
I think he's draft relevant.
Yeah, draft. But we're not talking draft today.
I mean, I can't see him getting 40 possessions every game.
They will get plenty of draft talk soon. Matt Crouch, interesting for me. He was
True or trap?
Well, true. He was in my pre-JLT side.
That's right.
So I was very big on him. Except instead of him being 7%, he is actually now 12.9%. So
the biggest benefactor, I think, from Brad Crouch coming to form is Matt Crouch.
Well, Matt Crouch and Brad Crouch just start, like they're playing in the backyard. They're just giving each other the ball.
So good.
You have the ball. No, you have the ball.
It's actually great to watch. Adelaide all of a sudden again became one of those teams that I really want to watch again.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So...
And I did tell you that last year, I think they turned it over a lot because they had a dysfunctional forward line. Give them a good forward line, give them a good draw, and I think they're destined for great things. But I do want to start him, but then, I think it's true. I think he will average 110.
Yep.
He is now in my top 10 in place of...
I also agree. I've chucked him into my top 10. Now, he was only just borderline out anyway.
Yeah, correct. But he was just out for me, but now he is just
I do believe that he will be a top 10 midfielder this year, and at that price, it's hard to pass up.
It is hard. It's hard to pass up.
I mean, I had him in my starting team last year at 610k, so I'm getting $60,000 discount.
Yep. So we might just skip to his brother, Brad Crouch, quickly.
Yep.
Brad Crouch is in 26.1% of sides.
121 he averaged over the JLT, over both games.
I get it, but can't you just find yourself another 130k and go Matt Crouch or something? Like, for me...
injury risk is still... Like, I think that he can score premium numbers. The injury risk is still too real to be putting your faith in Brad Crouch.
He's never played a full season. He might start off with a bang. Might make you money. If you're planning on keeping him for the whole year, I think that's a bad strategy. If you're hoping that he goes off with a bang, might get you up to 500k and then maybe be able to get a primo. But then at the same time, you're only making 80k. So you might as well just start with a premium and bugger him off. So 26%. I'm happy for them to take the gamble. I do wish him all the best, but I'm happy for them to take the gamble.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not going with that gamble. I don't necessarily think he's a trap, but I do think that you're not going to get what you think you're going to get out of him. I don't think he's averaging 120. He might average you a flat 100. I mean, he's never, again, yes, he's a good player. He's never averaged over 94, even though, even though he's been a prodigy, he knows they get the ball, blah, blah. Never averaged over 94.
I think he'll do the Bryce Gibbs of 2 years ago. Was it last year?
Have some massive games.
Massive games at the start of the year. And then he'll average 115, and then he'll then drop away. Those that don't have him might jump on, but who knows? So for me, I'm going Matt.
I'm just avoiding it. I think it will hurt you at some stage. At some stage during the year, having Brad Crouch will hurt you.
Well, it will
either cost you a trade.
It'll hurt them or it'll hurt us, one way or the other. So, I think he's a great player, but for me, I am I'm saying I'm avoiding Chris, but he has actually made his way into my side because I'm like, I've got 420k, and I'm like, Rockcliffe.
It's right in the
Dom
edge.
Sheed. That's all I can afford. Or I think Liberatore maybe based on his cheaper. So.
Now, next on the list is Stephen Coniglio. So one that I think was going real under the radar until the JLT, and for no reason.
16.2% of sides now. He is more owned than Kelly.
Which is a bit crazy, but I mean, obviously Kelly hasn't been in either JLT, and that's one of the factors that's sort of pushing me away from getting it. Not that I don't think that they score well together, because obviously last year the stats show that Coniglio actually averaged more with Kelly on the side. I think though that those stats are a little bit skewed, and the reason why I think is I don't think it's necessarily because Kelly's in the team. I think that when Kelly's in the team, they win more because he's that good.
Yeah.
And therefore, the wins correlate in higher scoring across the board. So it might be like you're just looking at it that way, going, oh yeah, well, but no, they won those games. There was a period there where he was only averaging, I think, 100 for about 7 games last year, Caniglio.
Yeah, less when Kelly was out.
Yeah, but it was because they were losing back to back to back. They lost 6 games in a row during that time. So to me, it's more about whether they win. And when they win, he scores well. And I do think they're going to be really competitive this year. So I like the Caniglio pick. I think it's true. I think he can average, if not top 10 numbers, close to top 10.
I would not be surprised.
He's not really a value pick, though, is he?
He's not a value pick, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him top 10 because he has all the attributes to be a great Supercoach player.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he gets contested ball, he can get it on the outside. He's an awesome player to watch.
I love
but not on top of that, he tackles, he gets forward, he kicks goals.
He's a coach's, he's like a coach's dream.
Well, he does everything, right? So he has all the makings to be like that Pendlebury type of player who gets high Supercoach numbers. Yeah,
if he cleaned up his kicking, he would be the perfect Supercoach player. His only issue is sometimes he's just a bit of a hacker. Sometimes, not all the time.
He's a bit of a hacker. Well, he did go 105.9, got injured,
and
then came out with, was it 108 or whatever it is. If I can touch on quickly, Chris, those games that they did lose, I'm trying to look here, 89, 83, 110, 106, 90... I think that's probably around that period.
Exactly right. Yeah. So see that big lull there was when they lost so many players to injury.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they were just losing every single match.
I think he's definitely a consistent option for me. He has actually gone up in rankings. In my opinion, I actually thought he was going to hold steady, but
he could definitely average 110.
I think he could.
I don't think he's going to really be the guy that goes 120. No. So for that reason, you can hold off and get him later. I don't think he's a must-have.
Okay.
Like if Kelly goes big. You're not reaching him. You don't have enough cash because I think he goes 120 plus.
Yeah, but the good thing is not many people have him. So
yeah.
Okay, let's go with Jared Lyons.
You're mate.
Yeah, the Lions player.
I was impressed with his games.
I just love his last name. Lions.
Yeah, I know. Lions plays for Lions.
Yeah, it's great.
It's pretty good.
I'm happy.
It's written in the stars. Wanna be rewrite the stars. Sorry.
That's horrible. Jared Lyons, I think he's a great pick for draft, but for me, not standard relevant.
Yeah, a bit of a trap. I mean,
he might end up averaging 102 or something or other, but no,
he's around that price that people are looking for someone. You know,
and he kicked like 4. Didn't he kick like 4 goals in one of those JLT games? Move on. Let's move on.
I don't think so. Obviously, danger. True. If you don't have danger, then just start again. Delete your team and start again.
McRae and Lockie Neal and
Treloar. So
yeah,
I like
Treloar played. What did he play? Not
to
one
me,
game?
it's Treloar versus Caniglio, and I think both of them have a really good chance.
Treloar played one game and got like 40 odd touches. Nah.
Yeah, but I really like what he said post game. So I don't know if you watched the post game interview, but he said that this year with the 666 midfielders who can find the pill, they're going to find a lot more pill. He said that if Tom Mitchell was playing, he'd get 70 a week. Just because of the space that the midfield have, especially at centre bounces.
So the clearance, the ones that actually can get the contested ball.
Exactly right.
So now you're looking at contested ball winners.
So does that mean that 40 a week is normal for Treloar now?
And Matty Crouch?
I don't know. Yeah,
Matt Crouch he had a lot of
the guys
bounces.
that get a lot of ball. I mean, even Caniglio is a ball winner, ball getter. So I really like that theory. But
that's why I like spending big this year on the guys that can win it. So your Olivers, your Fifes, even.
McRae's going to get 40 every week.
McRae, Cripps, even Matty Crouch, guys that get a lot of the pill.
And thinking that he might drop off early.
McRae's only in like 21 or 22%.
I can't believe that. With no Mitchell, he's the number one midfielder besides Tom Mitchell this year. Oh, sorry. We won't say anything.
Let people save their 140k and get a Matt Crouch.
So obviously that leads us to Jack McRae, 123 average over the 2 games. He got a 104 in JLT 2 and a 143 in JLT 1. I mean, in a bad game, he gets 104. Okay. Literally.
Not too bad. I reckon we can move through. Steele's definitely a very interesting one. I think
Steele?
Quite a few people are jumping on him, but again, so many people. Is it just me, though, or are so many people picking breakouts this year? More than any other year?
People and
Everyone's going up. Everyone's going up in
the
average.
rules of SuperCoach.
Brayshaw's averaging
Especially
115
early.
this year.
Yeah, especially early.
Dom Sheed's averaging 110.
It's got to be guns and rookies. Don't try and pick a breakout because the likelihood, don't get me wrong, there are people that are going to break out.
Well, what about
the likelihood of you choosing them though? It's so low.
Who picked Witherden last year? Breakout. McGrath last year? Breakout. Petraka last year? Breakout.
Yep, and they all burnt everyone.
Billings breakout.
Yeah.
Like, how many of these guys did you pick hoping that they're going to break out? And some of them
It's not
sometimes
worth it.
never. Steele, I think, is a great player. Tackles like an absolute mad dog.
I do think this is a year that still goes well. However, I'm not taking a risk.
Well, at what, 10 point on his average? 105? He's still not going to be a top 10.
Especially a mid-breakout. If you can't see them averaging 110, get out. Get someone else in. Same with Brad Crouch. Same with Angus Brayshaw. I think he's trapping a lot of people. I think he might be a good pick.
It's the highest scores in a long time as well.
Yeah.
So you need to be hitting a 110 to be hitting a top 10. So
yeah,
huge.
Exactly what I said. I think that this year's top 10 from midfield, it looks like they're all going to be over 110 well. But you need 115 average to be considered top 10 this year.
Yep.
So even 110 might not be enough. So if you're saying Brayshaw might average you 105, 108, that's a fair chunk away from a top 10 selection.
Yeah.
And he's not that cheap. You know, Brayshaw's what, 520k, 530k or something like that.
Yep.
I like Brayshaw. He needs to tidy up his kicking.
I think he'll go around like a Caniglia 108.5 or something like that. I don't he could get 110. I don't see it. He might get 115. Again, I don't see it.
No.
You've also got, like, let's not forget the JLT. Viney wasn't playing in there. Jones wasn't playing in and around there.
Yep.
You add those guys into the mix. I mean, Viney is a contested beast. He will be in there. So
he's a one-position player. He's that player that has to play midfield.
And you're not pushing Oliver out.
No.
Because Oliver's just a freak with the hands to get those clearances. So
I agree.
For me, I think he definitely looks impressive, but they're going to need lots of guys to absolutely dominate for him to do really well. So,
Sony just said, really interested to hear your thoughts on Scrimshaw. Does he start? I think he definitely starts.
Scrimshaw, yep.
I think he's in the round one team. His job security is a little bit questionable because I think Birchall gets come back around round 4, round 5.
I think there's still room for him. I think they like him. I think they need him.
The good news is he's got a chance, right? Every rookie's got a chance.
And I think he's versatile as well. Well, he was a former pick 7. He'll play.
Yeah.
He'll play.
He'll play round 1. What's his scoring going to be like? I don't
60s?
know. Well, the issue was that the game he scored really well. He had 12 possessions in the first quarter and had 50 Supercoach and then
did
died.
Yeah, but
so
that's a small glimpse of window. I mean, who would you rather? A guy that can do that and hopefully puts it together for a game and goes big and then reduces his break even, or a guy like Gibbons who gets you a 40 to 50 over a whole game and has to kick 3 goals.
The thing is, if you're going with Scrimshaw, is it over someone else or is he on your bench? I personally am looking at Scrimshaw as a bench player because I've got Clark on field. I think he's got more scoring power.
I think I'm going Collins and Clark with hopefully Scrimshaw on my bench.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too. Clark is he's got the perfect Supercoach game. He only kicks the ball. I think he had 11 disposals last week and literally every one of them was a kick. So even though I think he got like 60 Supercoach, it was all because of his kicking and intercept marking. That's perfect. I mean, if he gets 20 and they're all kicks, then that's 100 points. So he doesn't need a lot of possessions to make some good points. And we'll
know more once teams are announced, but they're definitely on my list at this point in time.
Yeah.
Rowan Marshall is an interesting one. Played one game, hit a 112. I've seen him in quite a few sides, actually.
I wouldn't be touching him.
I would not be touching him with a 10-foot pole.
He'll get dropped in round 3 when Longer comes back. There's no way you're playing Rowan Marshall. No chance. If he's in your team, no. Nope. And Lewis Pearce was out with concussion as well.
Oh, yeah,
he's not in their best.
No, Marshall,
he's not in their best 22.
Well,
having said that, if Paddy McCartan doesn't come back, they may go for that 3 tall forward line.
That's true.
And have him purely out of the goal square. So he may, but that mean you don't want as a speculative mid pricer with a role change going into round 1 with that question mark.
Yep.
No. Absolutely, that's a bad call.
That's fair. I'll tell you somebody who did make their way into my side for a whole couple of minutes was Tom Rockcliffe.
Of course he did.
He did.
You just like the look of him in there.
He did. But
I'm rocking 8 primos with Rockcliffe on.
Do you know why though? He actually, I said this last time, he looks fit. It came out and he said he was actually training in the pre-season as a midfielder. He's actually playing an inside midfield this year. For a guy that can go big, and here's why he went into my side, Chris, because big ceiling.
Yep.
They versed Carlton round 2.
No, I get it.
Carlton.
He might not even be there in round 2. He might be in the forward line in round 2.
Oh, nah, it's happening.
Ollie Wines might even be playing round 1 or 2.
That's fine. Doesn't matter if Ollie Wines is there. Rockcliffe is going a 160 odd against Carlton. 100%.
No.
Chris, you read it out.
I will bet. Okay, if you were to say any number above 110,
I'll give you 5 to 1.
5 to,
or 1 to 5. 1 to 5 that he goes.
Stop with your odds.
That he goes over 150.
Stop with your odds. What in round? When is it?
Round 2 versus
okay,
Carlton.
you give me 5 to 1. What's the bet? Like what?
So, what 10 to 50?
Oh, so I win $10 if he goes 150.
No, if he goes less than 150, you get 10. If he goes over 150, I get 50.
I'll take it.
Okay, done.
That's the easiest $10 I've ever made.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so round 2, Port Adelaide, if it comes up.
I don't reckon he's even going to be playing midfield in round 2.
Port Adelaide versus Carlton at Amy Oval, round 2. Rockcliffe is going 150 Supercoach or more.
Okay. You heard it here first, guys.
You heard it here first. And then they also verse the Lions. It's going to be and Hawthorn and the Gold Coast.
You should start him then.
All before the buys. But here's why I don't want to start him, Chris. Here's why I don't want to start him. And I know people are going to be laughing.
Tell me why you
don't be laughing. The reason I'm not starting him is he's in 11.8% of sides.
No.
11.8.
Really?
I cannot.
That is such a trap.
If he was 5%, I might actually consider it, right?
The guy's got shoulders that are literally glued together.
That is true. That is true. And he's going to have to shoulder most of the workload the first few rounds. But 11.8% aside. So for me, I'm actually going to say I think it's a good pick, but I'm not doing it. Because
no way.
There's no reward for me.
Now, just on the Twitch here, we've also got Tom Williamson 11 said, "Are you guys showing your teams today?" No, but we will Wednesday night. So tune in.
Who's team Chris on that one?
Our standard teams. And
Stonesy, mate.
Yeah.
You know how much I hate former Lions players that trade out, but Rockcliffe on this one, 100%.
And Tatum SZN said, "Thoughts on Warple for $395K?" I don't hate the pick, but you've got to be picking it for the right reason.
It's draft. How much is he?
$395.
Oh, $395. Throw out the extra $40K and get Billings, 100%.
I don't even think it's that. Oh yeah, it's $437 or something.
Yeah, it's like 40,000 on top
Honestly, at that price, you're wanting a keeper out of him. He's not going to be.
Warple average.
There's no way he's anywhere near the top 10.
85 to 87 to 88 at best. Billings can lose 90 plus.
If you're looking for him as a stepping stone, then maybe, but it's too expensive to be.
I'd rather go green and actually make yourself 45,000.
Yeah.
And I don't really like green, but I'd go green over Warple.
I wouldn't do that either, but yeah.
Would you go green over Warple?
I don't like any of the forward prices.
But would you go green over Warple?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I had to choose.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. You have to choose, Chris. We're not speculating for no reason.
That poll. Don't care. That's not a vote.
I know. We had poker and they're like, what would you rather play? 50 cents, $1 blinds or 25.50? Or I don't mind. And then I voted, I don't mind. He's like, Ben, you have to vote. And I was like, well, why have an I don't mind button? So I voted the less option to annoy him.
Very cool.
Because that's what I do. Okay, so let's go with Bontempelli. Is this the year he hits 110, Chris?
I think it might be.
He's so silky
He's sneaking around my top 10. He
was in my 10.
But I'm never ever doing it. And this is okay. Let's wrap this package up. You've got quite a few players there.
Let's wrap it up like
let's put McRae on the side where he's untouchable.
Wrap it like a foreskin.
Sure. You've got Bontempelli, you've got Mitch Wallace, you've got Josh Dunkley, you've got Toby McLean. All of them are going to be changing their roles throughout the season. There is no way that what they do in round 1, they're doing in round 15.
I'll tell you why.
No way.
I'll tell you why I like Bontempelli. He's like the Pendlebury in contested position, so he has so much time and space. In that midfield, he's going to have even more time and space. That's why I love him, right? He's awesome. I think he will average 110.
He's one of the best clearance players in the competition.
Here's my only problem. Shaki, Boyd, or whoever that Gowers, whatever. If one of these guys go down, guess who's playing in the forward line, deep forward?
100%.
Bontempelli.
Yeah.
So they're one injury away from Bontempelli playing a really crappy Supercoach
Especially after what just happened. So Dale Morris goes down, and they were trialling Aaron Norton up forward, and he actually looked good because he can clunk him.
Yep.
But he'll go back
to defence, so which is probably good for him.
There's another forward spot. Who's that? It's going to be either Dunkley or I reckon it. Honestly,
McLean will be playing the small.
Well, McLean's the small forward, so I don't think the difference is Dunkley and Bont are your tall mid forwards. Yep. To me, it's who's playing more forward mid time. It's a guess. What I know is that there's no way I can select any of those guys. For me personally, all of them have like way too much risk associated with every single pick. And how much is Dunkley in? I wouldn't even.
Dunkley's up there. Josh Dunkley. I didn't write it down. I think he's in. Yeah, he's in quite a few.
He's in a lot of teams. I shudder every time. If I look at him in my team, I just go, oh, I just can't do it. I just start getting shivers. It makes me uneasy looking at it in my squad. I don't know how you guys feel about it out there, but
well, that's why a lot of people are having issues with F3 because
makes sense.
There's nobody that especially with like buy friendly.
Yep,
it's hard. If you don't care about the buy, then sure, just lock in another Geelong player or something or other.
Which is a league style. Yeah.
Going to be very interesting.
Jack Darling is someone that honestly I was on before JLT.
Yep,
he came out in the first JLT, played okay, but really, his scoring was from his goals. Second JLT came out. He got an awesome score. Where was he? He also got another 96. He only kicked 1 goal. So all of his score pretty much was from his getting up the ground and working back and marking on the logos, etc.
Interesting.
I've got no qualms in saying if I didn't have Robbie Gray at F3, who I think is going to be really good this year, my next pick would be Jack Darling. The only other issue is that he obviously shares the bye as well with Isaac Heaney and Patrick Dangerfield.
Quick side note, I'm finding the forward line structure quite hard because yes, I like to go the 3 forwards and then Setterfield but the last couple of rookies
they're not great on-field scorers. No,
they look dodged. They could easily just go out.
Yeah.
Although the good thing is with the forward line is you've got was it Williamson could be back in 3 to 4 weeks.
Yep. There's some rookies that look like they might get early games. So
exactly.
Players like Noah
Ling,
Bolter, I think, might get early games.
Bolter,
Matthew Ling as
could
well.
come in from Sydney.
Yep.
The Bulldogs player,
Kavara.
Yep.
So there are going to be some downgrade targets.
There will be, 100%.
There's, I think Willem Drew's underrated, and I think that he will get some serious game time early.
Yep.
So
I do agree.
Yep.
Reece Matheson, Chris.
No.
Bust or true or
trap? Trap.
Yeah, I agree. Trap, 100%. But
now, the only solace is
draft.
that, he's only 365k, but he's a forward player as well.
Yeah, good for draft.
So, potential.
No. Like I said, 80. What did I say? 80 average? 85 average?
What about old Taranto? What do you think about Taranto?
Taranto is in, if I can find him. Where is Taranto?
No idea.
Yeah, well, he's 5.3% of sides.
Fairly unique. Here's my thoughts on Taranto. I'd rather have Taranto than Brayshaw. I reckon they might average the same, but Taranto's 40k cheaper.
And in less sides.
They're probably going to average that sort of 100 to 105. That's my opinion. So, I'd rather have Taranto.
Guess how many
every day of the week.
Guess how many people have Brayshaw over Taranto? So we're talking the difference here, Chris.
I reckon Brayshaw might be in 15% at this point.
Brayshaw's in 17.2. 17.2%.
That could really burn us, by the way, because if he does, especially early, if he goes big.
No, he won't go big early. You know why? Because Melbourne have a hard draw up until the buys.
Fair. So he's also had no attention.
Yeah, zero.
So, the only people giving him attention are the Brownlow vote givers, right?
You can't even tag Oliver, really.
No, that's what I mean.
So
Oliver's untaggable. Who's the next best mid right now in Melbourne's team?
Brayshaw.
He's had no attention.
Tag him. I wonder if he can handle it like
Wilco. Well, as I said, I don't know if I told you, but to me, he seems like that sort of. There's 2 ways people go about it. Either A, people tag him and he folds. I don't think he might avoid the tag completely just because of that whole Dane Swan thing. Racks up the ball, uses the ball, but because his use is not that great, they just let him get the ball.
Here's my other theory: teams might take out a hammer onto the field. Just a quick little doing tap,
and we're done.
And we shouldn't joke about that, Chris.
Yeah, no.
Because and no Robertson jokes today. Sorry.
No, because by the way,
it was only.
I think our heart goes out to. Seriously, it's.
You can't say that.
No, there's nothing worse in life than you can't do the thing you love, and he's talented.
Yeah.
And there would be he'd be sitting there being, I just want to play football. That's all he wants to do.
Well, I'm actually glad he's decided to step out for a year
and at
least reassess, and then who knows, maybe they'll work out something that's going on. But at least he didn't just say, "Oh, that's it, I'm done." I hope he spends the next 12 months kind of doing like a Doherty and doing some coaching or staying involved in some aspect that he really loves.
He will, and the club will support him through that.
100%.
I think it's a for the club. It's a really it's not really tenable. The problem is, if he goes on field and something serious happens, and this is a serious issue. If something serious happens, the club is liable.
Yeah,
I can't see them taking that risk. Now they get him in a different role, of course, and I think the club will support him. But man, it's
It's hard.
It's so
It
sad.
sucks, hey?
I don't know what I'd do if someone.
Well, it's like
told me
that,
wasn't
and
able
then
to do it.
the concussions ending careers, and Paddy McCartan's in a similar boat, and I shouldn't joke about.
Yeah, the rumor is that McCartan's probably going to retire as well.
Possibly, yeah. And I shouldn't joke about Brayshaw and the hammer joke, but obviously we're not serious.
No,
yeah, I'm actually really happy that he's
it
actually.
sucks people not being able to play.
Yeah,
football.
for sure. And I'm actually really happy Brayshaw came out and dominated the back end of this year, and he is so highly hyped because he's very talented, and I do wish him all the best.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, let's
moving on. So we've got a couple more we want to get through before we get out of here.
Billings, I see Billings.
Now Billings, I like the Billings pick now. I'm enjoying it. Yeah. But he comes with risk.
Yep.
So if you are picking him, know that there's going to be a train involved at some point and might hit a brick wall, but I don't mind the Billings pick. And I think a lot of people have that amount of cash left over in their forward line. They just want to go that extra, so fair enough. Libba. I like the Libba pick. I think he's the best value mid-pricer because he has a purpose. When you're picking Libba, you're not picking him to be a keeper, you're picking him to be a stepping stone. There's a difference between picking Libba and, say, Crouch because of that. Brad Crouch is 120k more, therefore you're picking him to be a keeper. Same with the Miles pick. That's sort of borderline where you would be picking a keeper versus picking a stepping stone. But yeah, definitely worth looking at.
Jay, I just saw your text message too via our stream, so via our Facebook, so we'll have a look at that shortly. Yep. Thanks again for he's checking out the Twitch stream live again, which is awesome. Liberatore.
Yep. I just went through.
Oh, sorry, I was just checking that out. So Liberatore is in 32.3%.
That is a lot of teams. Holy McJeez, I didn't expect that. Well done. Well done, Libba.
It's a lot of sides. So what we might do, have a look through. Sam Walsh, obviously, lock of the century. He is more owned than Cripps. He's in like 62%. 63, I think he's in. He's rivaling Danger nearly as the most owned, as well as Setterfield, who is also very heavily owned. So you've got...
Jesus.
I
Most
believe...
people are going to have at least 3 Carlton players.
Three of the top 4% owners are all Carlton.
Yep.
Cripps, Walsh, and
Crazy.
Setterfield. So very interesting. How did Alex Rance go, Chris? Because he actually looked pretty good in one of those games.
Oh look, and Rance will do that. He'll have a 100 score here or there, and then he'll have a 50 now. He's not the SuperCoach player he was 5 years ago.
I don't think he's top 10. I think he improves to about a 90 average, though. I
don't know about that.
I think he will. He'll have some big games. I think he'll end up averaging 90. I think the 6-on-6 might help. He might actually... He looks a bit better this year, I feel, than in previously. So
the one that I'm around that price that I like is Harris Andrews, though. Went back behind the ball as we thought he would, but there's that rumours that he might shift forward at some stage during the season. Hit some nice scores. JLT2 hit 106 in JLT 187. I think he's a great draft selection.
Yeah, and he goes late too.
Yeah, but
really
do you think
late.
he's going to top 10 potential?
Nah. Oh, he could. He could be top 10, but I don't see it. Quick little breakout contender for this year anyway, and it's not a top 10 breakout contender, so it's not a Brayshaw or something like that. Fiorini. I think he ended up averaging, which you probably just scrolled past him, Brendan Fiorini there. 94.5 over the 2 games on average. What is it, 74?
He's a talented player. He's 94 and 95.
Time on ground?
Yeah, 76% time on ground.
76%. So he showed promise last year, didn't really follow through, but this year he actually looks like
his body just lets him down, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I rate him as a player. When you watch
I think him and Bo, I think Bose as well is showing some real promise this year.
They do have some really talented picks.
But the problem is, A, you can't pick them, and B, even in draft, like Keeper League maybe, but you're looking at least 3 to 4 years before they actually the team starts being SuperCoach relevant.
Yeah,
so,
we've had a lot of people message us about Tuke Miller. That's a big hard no.
Oh yeah, that's a trap.
That is the biggest trap I've ever seen. He's the same price as Taranto.
Yeah.
Don't even think about Tuke Miller.
I'd go Taranto over that.
Yep.
Next.
Sorry, I just wanted to quickly go through next. Lockie Whitfield.
And Petrappa.
We will go.
Whitfield, 30.4% of teams.
That's insane.
Huge.
How?
I'm gonna say true as far as I think he will hold value, but I'm gonna say trap in that GWS have a pretty hard draw, and I think Whitfield he's already saying that he's playing forward line up through the wing.
We shared an article, and if you haven't read it, it was by the age. It's not by some SuperCoach page that's trying to muff stuff or whatever.
Not Jimmy's tips.
It was literally quotes directly from him that he's going to be playing on a wing and half forward flank. That is a massive role change. Where that lies with his scoring, you've probably seen that in the first couple of JLTs. JLT 1, 93, JLT 2, 86.
Yeah.
I think that he's somewhere between a 90 to 100 average. I'm thinking 95 to 100. I think he will hold value.
I think he'll still hold at 100, but...
People picking him just as a value pick is just wrong. It's not a value pick.
GWS have a really tough start to the year. To the point where even if you're looking in your draft leagues and stuff, they don't play Gold Coast until round 23. True. So their big game is going to be right at the end of the year. So you're looking at Josh Kelly with his 200 or whatever. That's not going to come until very late. So I think with the Whitfields and most of your GWS players and Melbourne, they're the two teams that actually don't have the best start to the year. So I'm considering not starting Oliver. I'm considering not starting a GWS player because
I don't think it matters with Oliver though.
That's
the one guy that you can bank.
But he did start slow last year.
True.
Yeah, I don't know, but GWS in particular, I think Whitfield, I think he will hold true, but I think he's a trap as far as your starting side goes. I will pick him up for a nice, easy 450k.
Fair enough.
Hopefully.
Now, I just wanted to highlight James Cousins. So, obviously, lots of possessions in the first 2 weeks. Week 1, they basically didn't have a midfield. Week 2, they did, but it was a little bit different. I'm not entirely sure where James Cousins sits in terms of his job security. And the reason why you're locking in a Walsh is because we haven't seen that sort of premium scoring from someone as a rookie at 200k. It just hasn't happened. So for 220k, has a lot less job security, I think, than someone like a Sam Walsh. And I'm not confident on his scoring power as yet. I think you can probably avoid him. That's just my opinion. Stonesy said, damn, he's my smoky. I don't know who you're talking about there, mate, but we're probably a little bit past that. I think you got to start Butters. I think he's pretty much a shoo-in. Decent job security. Scored quite well. So I do like those picks. I think Mundy's pretty much showed that he's going to be decent. So 2 really good scores from Mundy. So in JLT 1, you had 81 off 70% time on ground. JLT 2, 90 off 79% time on ground. He's going to average you 95. He's a great F3. I think he's just a little bit too expensive.
I do agree. The next one, we're looking at Peroni Leggera. It's a brand new sponsor, just fresh from the fridge.
Your friend in the fridge, thank you very much. I do need some of that. Thank you very much.
Peroni Leggera, probably one of the best beers, I think, as far as a light beer goes. 0.9 standards, low carb, very crisp and lovely flavours.
And we are on the mid-strength / light beers today because we had a pretty big night last night.
And I have to drive later,
so if I'm a little bit under the weather.
Yes.
Now, a couple that I want to highlight before we get off, because we're going to get out of this podcast in 2 minutes, is Cade Simpson and Nick Newman. So as I predicted, literally what happened the following week, first week 1, JLT, Simpson's playing on a wing, barely behind the ball, barely sighted.
Newman going bang.
Newman going off in the first half and then really died in the second half. Week 2, Simpson goes back behind the ball and he takes his line share. And that's going to be how they're going to play this year. I think Nick Newman is a massive trap.
Yep. I am with you there. So let's run off the Brody Smith. We'll go by the percentages, Chris. Brody Smith in 35.5% of sides. Do you think a true or trap?
Depends on what you think you're going to get out of Brody Smith. Do I think he's a keeper?
Step
no.
Up?
He's a step.
True step?
True step.
Yep, I'm with you there. True step, 35.5% of sides. Would you take Brody Smith or would you take a Zach Williams who's in 29.1% of sides?
I have both.
Or both, okay.
Zach Williams to me is the biggest lock in defence this year, and I'm surprised he's not in more teams.
Well, I think with Whitfield playing up a little bit more, I think Zach Williams will definitely...
He showed in a half of football, they had 22 disposals and absolutely dominated their backline.
Yep.
You know that they're gonna give him the ball.
I'm with you, and I actually feel like going both of them.
Yeah.
I am still tempted to go Hanley though. He's only in like 4% of sides.
It could be a good pick, but I mean that's one of those picks that you're like, if it goes off, I'm a fucking hero.
Well, I'm thinking about it, but the problem is I can't do it. It's either him. Yeah, if I start off with Laird and Zach and Brody, that's a lot of coins spent up. But yeah, I'm definitely considering it. So
see you later, Russ. Russ is just off to the NBL final. Well done, mate.
Oh, is Russ not in? Is he playing tonight?
And Ando. By the way, shout out to Ando, Mr. Sir Black Knight, who's just jumped in there. All the stats that we're reading off tonight are directly from the spreadsheet.
Mr. Ando.
That he provided for us. I moved house last week and we've been absolutely flat out. Literally all week. So we haven't really had much time to go through and delve into the stats like we want to.
Flat out building flat packed.
So it has been really awesome. So thank you very much, Ando, for all your help this week. We really appreciate it. So.
Is Russ coming back later or not?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he'll be back for the
draft. Okay, so let's rattle through. Darcy Moore, 23.2% of sides.
Yep.
I think you have had him in your side at one point, Chris.
In my side currently.
Really? What happened to you
He's the
saying...
one risky pick, I know.
What happened to you saying... Chris is like, I wouldn't even pick him if he got a 150. And then he's in your side.
I need someone around his price. Look,
forward line or defence?
He's in defence for me.
And then does that mean you have Burgess or whatever his name is?
Yeah, I do. Okay. He does add flexibility to your team, but I'm not selecting him in that. The reason why I'm selecting him right now is because I need someone who's going to... I don't want to... he's an expensive rookie, essentially. He's 230k, which means, he's like 50k more than Sam Collins. Guaranteed job security, so if he's fit, he plays. He can score well down back.
He's taking a lot of kick-ins too.
He's taking kick-ins, yeah. I don't know if that continues.
Well, how long until
Lyndon Dunn?
Lyndon Dunn's back?
He's back now in full training.
Ooh.
So whether he probably will play through the VFL because of his knee.
Yep.
And he'll come back in. But
I heard the VFL knee him.
They do knee him. Look, I still... It's the one thing in my side that I'm not 100% sold on.
So you're saying true, not trap on Darcy Moore?
No, he could burn people.
Well,
but the thing is, he's only 230k. So the worst case scenario with Darcy Moore is you can just trade him down to a rookie.
Don't sit on the Collingwood fence, Chris. Is this your Cox pick
I'll
of last year?
then.
Is this your Cox pick of last year?
This could be.
Okay.
One Collingwood player I've got in mind.
I'm gonna say trap on Darcy Moore.
Like the one saving grace about it is because he's so cheap it doesn't really matter. Because worst case scenario is in round 3 you get a rookie that you didn't have.
See, I'm considering that even with Hanley, because if I'm wrong, I'll just go down to somebody else, maybe.
Yeah, well, I've got him I currently have him at D4.
Yep.
So then I've got, that's
D4,
why I want.
Wow, what are you going? Are you going Lloyd, Zach Williams, Brodie Smith? Jeez. If there is a year you could do it, I don't feel confident from anyone except for Lloyd, possibly even
basically
Laird.
the 10 most expensive defenders right now. I'm not confident in any of them. I think Laird's going down. I think Whitfield's staying the same. He's not value. Then you've got... after that, you've got... Simpson maybe holds, maybe goes down slightly. Sicily, role is insecure. There's just so much question marks. I'm just like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the tried and true. I know Lloyd's going to be good this year. I personally think that. And then everyone else I can wait and see.
Yeah, that's true.
And then just upgrade to...
Upgrade, and then away you go.
And, with defenders and how they score,
they'll
have a 60 and then you can be like, all right, sweet.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping.
No, I'm with you there. I have toyed with a similar positioning, except for instead of Moore, I've had Hanley in there. So, Toby Green, 18% of sides.
That's stupid.
Trap.
Massive trap.
He
provides value and he can be a premium scorer.
I'm going to say trap for the start of the year. I actually think he'll average better in the back end once he gets some continuity with his body. It's going to take him a few games to get there. So for
I'll tell you why though.
They're in for a roller coaster.
Here's why I think he's a trap is because I think that a lot of people have Toby Green at F3. That is a massive fail. Because if he burns you, then you're going to be playing 4 on-field forward rookies. No way. If you've got him at F4, I can see that. You've got a backup option. You can go down to a forward rookie. You're probably not hurting your on-field scoring.
You can go to Darcy Moore and bank 110k.
Well, yeah, you can, right? But at F3, you're really, really scraping the barrel.
Yeah.
So
where are you putting your money?
Depending on where he is, depends on how big of a trap he is in your side. So there's something to consider.
Fair call. Andy McGrath, 16.1% of sides.
Jesus.
That's a big gamble.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of chicken.
Definitely not. Here's the thing. Zach Merritt's played all of half a game in total, maybe 3/4 out of 2 games.
Yeah.
He's going to be he's their go-to guy. Dylan Chill's going to be in there. Devon Smith's going to get more mid-time. Heppel's going to get more mid-time.
Zaharakis, where do you see everyone? I see McGrath.
He'll get mid-time, but he's not going to be a permanent midfielder.
No, I see he'll get some stoppages and then he'll probably push wing.
He's a good keeper league player.
Oh, yeah. I actually think he is. I think he's
I really rate him in keeper.
I rate him in keeper leagues as well. I think he's a great option, but for 16.1% of teams, it's too heavily owned for me to even take that risk.
Yeah.
I'll let other people take that risk, and if it works out, then awesome. If he's averaging 100, you can just bring him in later.
For like 10k more, you can get Williams.
Yeah, close to. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
No thanks.
That's crazy. Let's go with Rockcliffe 11.8. I still can't believe that. That's just absolutely crazy. Witherden 10%. So he was around 18, I think. If he had a big preseason, he would have been up in the 25s.
Yeah,
easily.
he's one that I think is slipping out of my top 10 predictions.
Yeah, me too.
So
he did not look that great.
No,
and he wasn't even taking many kickouts.
Here's what I think.
Rich was kicking
Lions
out.
are better. They're not going to have as much ball down in their defence as they were last year, right?
True, and
it's going to be less scores kicked against the Lions this year.
And Rich is taking some kickouts.
Yeah.
I can't blame him. I mean, Rich.
Fair call.
Well, A, he can hit a short target, or B, if the situation calls for it, he can just
straight down the middle, roost it.
Oh, literally.
Roost. I love it.
But like watching Rich kick long is like watching a spud gun. Just
so good.
Catch you later.
Amazing.
Gone.
I love Daniel Rich as a player. I love the fact that he's back and firing, and he's got a really good role for his skill set. So
crazy. I'm also surprised that 9.9% still have Miles in their side.
Yep. Trade and deliver straight away.
Yeah, and make some money. I get it. I think he's a great player.
I think a lot of people are running Miles and Liver.
Yeah. See, I think he'll provide good value to the Suns, but the problem is, A, he's in the Suns.
Yep.
B,
he can't kick to save his life.
There's no guarantee he'll even stay being in the best.
Ando
22.
Ando says fat rich.
Fat rich.
No, fat.
Fat rich. Yes, I have seen him down at the Combsley pool before. He has lats for days. I have not seen a guy have, he's probably only like 80 odd kilos, so he's not like a big boy, but his lats and his traps.
They look like mine.
Oh my god, not like yours, Chris.
Trap City.
They look like yours if you stood in a fat mirror.
Thanks,
you'd be like...
Alright, we got to move on because we got to get to our keeper
Chris,
league
it's fine. Callum Mills is in 8.1.
Ooh, true or trap? It's so hard to call that. It's hard to call, right?
I'm saying true, but for me, I'm thinking a 90 average. I don't think he'll be top 10. So for me, I'm going to say trap.
A lot rests on the shoulders of one guy that we like to call Ryan Clark. If Ryan Clark does not start round one, do not have Callum Mills in your team because he's starting behind the ball. It all depends on his form.
Ryan Clark looked good in that second game.
He did look good. He did, but again, he played midfield, and I don't think that he's going to be playing midfield.
Yeah, true.
So to me, it's whether Ryan Clark plays or not because Ryan Clark will play behind the ball.
No, they said they drafted him in to play midfield though. Ryan
really?
Clark. Yeah, 100%.
Well, then how can they give Callum Mills that mid-time?
Well, because
that's
Hanbury, Parker's playing forward.
That's got
PK's
trap written all over that. There is no way you can confidently pick Callum Mills. And they want Heaney in midfield. Now, they're not going to get him in the early part of the season. Yeah. But once Buddy comes back, I think Heaney will be playing a lot more mid-minutes.
Yep.
So I don't think he's going to cost you at the start of the season, but he could be one if you want to not start Heaney. And I know he's in a lot of teams.
I think Heaney
could... But Heaney's the one you could not start for the first 6-7 rounds and upgrade.
Yeah, I think Mills might average 90, but I don't think he'll be top 10. He'll probably end up being like 18th highest, and then if you're hoping for him to be in the top 10...
You're picking him to be a keeper, and to me, he's not a keeper. And if you're picking him over Williams is a better pick.
I am with you there. DeGoey, 7.4?
Stupid. Dumb. That's just supported bias.
Well, that's a lot of bias.
There's a lot of Collingwood supporters.
Yeah. I think DeGoey's maybe another year or so off. Once Pendlebury gets a little bit older,
it would have been this year if there was room in the midfield for him, but there's not.
You might. I hate Collingwood.
Well, you love watching them play.
Dislike.
You love the players that you hate the club. Love the players.
I love Pendlebury. No, I can't say I dislike them that much anymore.
Brody Grundy is fucking hilarious.
I just like to give them crap, but I actually look forward to. They actually have some talent going in the future. Mm-hmm. You got DeGoey, Phillips is young, Sear. Even though it's the just Adams is still young, Treloar's still young.
Yep.
So even when Pendles and Beams and Sidebottom go, they've still got talent, which really annoys me.
The next tier up's really good.
It really annoys me.
Yep.
Petrakpa is 6.8% of sides.
Dumb.
Big trap in the world. And Dalhouse, 6.4.
No way. There is no way.
Dalhouse is 6.4.
There is other forwards that are better for Geelong. If you want a forward, go for Tim Kelly or Menegola. Honestly.
Or Dangerfield.
Well, everyone's going to have Danger, but
most people.
There's no way you can choose Dalhouse over a Menegola or over a... I know his sort of price is obviously different, but...
Yep.
Anyway.
100%. So I think that pretty much wraps us up for that. We didn't do too much on the rooks, but we can do that next Wednesday.
We will. We'll cover rooks next week when we get a little bit more idea about who's actually starting. What happens
especially
every
Bolter.
week? every year is that are likely the round one starters who are rookies or whatever. The club usually announces them via Facebook and does this thing, Hopefully. So you'll usually find out.
Hopefully by Wednesday night, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, hopefully, if you're listening, which you probably are, if we could Photoshop Bolter's face on Bolter, that'd be great.
That would be great.
That would be great.
Anyway, we'll catch you next time. We're going to be live again in about 25 minutes with our Keeper League draft. We're really looking forward to it. We'll catch you soon.
Chris, we start picking in 20 minutes.
That's true.
Less than 19 minutes. So thank you very much, and I hope you have enjoyed a little bit of Sunday Sesh.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye.